budget negotiations?
Well, as I made it very clear, I think that I've tried for the last 6 years that we change the budget system in such a way that we can have a rainy day fund set aside. I think it is very important, and I think that Senator Steinberg just recently said that with those cuts that we have in place now, we will be the only state, or one of the only states, that will have no safety net. And coincidentally, it's also one of the only states that does not have a rainy day fund. So there's a direct correlation. You cannot have a safety net if you don't have the money for that safety net. I mean, it's like being in a circus and saying to someone, you got to put a safety net underneath when those acrobats tumble around, and then you go and say, but I'm not going to give you any money. So that doesn't work. We need to put money aside, and this state has consistently tried to avoid putting a rainy day fund aside and try to avoid to live within its means. We have seen now the big problems in Europe. We've seen the big problems in Greece, in Ireland, in Spain, Portugal. Italy is coming up, and the euro, the government over there had to put $1 trillion aside to support all of those governments. And what do they all have in common with other states in the United States and with California? Is like that we politicians promise more than they can deliver, and that we continuously spend more money than we take in. That's what all of those places have in common, and now finally it caught up because the economy went down and we just didn't pass the stress test. That's the bottom line. And I hope that will wake up the legislature this time and say, okay, let's get into it and let's create a rainy day fund. And let's get rid of this volatile tax system that makes us continuously always suffer when we have a 2.5% drop in our economic activities and our GDP. Then all of a sudden we have a 27% drop in our revenues. That's not normal. Our tax system is based on what's going on Wall Street rather than what's going on in economic activities here in California. So we got to change those things. And the other thing, as you know, is we got to change the pension system, because it's ludicrous for us to go and have an increase just alone. The pension system for public employees has gone up just by CalPERS alone from $150 million 10 years ago to $3 billion. That's an increase of 2,000%. And so now that's not even calculating in Carl Sturz and all the others. So altogether, right now, the taxpayers are footing a bill of $6.2 billion for pensions. That's an equivalent of the whole university system. I mean, think about that. So this is why we have to change that. There were promises made that we cannot deliver, and now all we have to do is, and the legislature says, well, this is a lot of work to get into that, or you have to do it on a bargaining table. In 1999, they didn't do it on a bargaining table. They took 5 minutes, and they promised in 5 minutes, changed with SB 400, changed the law, and promised things that we cannot deliver, and that created this huge mess. So now they should go back, also spend 5 minutes, and go reverse it to the 1999 level. It doesn't take much. Reverse it.